I'm not teaching, I'm publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test, part 343, National Insurance, that is on page 138, while doing leg stretching, and if you participate in the leg stretching, that is at your own risk. We're starting with the first exercise. We're bringing one leg in front, and we're pulling the toes in, and from time to time we're going to contract the quad muscles, and we have only 3 exercises. So we're doing these exercises quite long. If you want to make them shorter, you can do that at any moment. And we're starting with contraction of the quad muscles. National insurance. Almost everybody in the UK who is in paid work, including self-employed people, must pay national insurance contributions. The money raised from national insurance contributions is used to pay for state benefits and services such as the state retirement pension and the National Health Service. And we're releasing a contraction. There was something mentioned too, that on pensions tax must be paid. Maybe there are different types of pensions, but I don't know. So what we already had was, or should we read to the end? We're reading on. Employees have a national insurance contribution deduced from their pay by their employer. People who are self-employed need to pay national insurance contributions themselves, and we're contracting again. Anyone who does not pay enough national insurance contributions will not be able to receive certain contributory benefits such as job seekers allowance or a full state retirement pension. Some workers, such as part-time workers, may not qualify for statutory payments such as maternity pay if they do not earn enough. We're releasing a contraction. Further guidance about national insurance contributions is available on www.gov.uk/national-insurance. So national insurance. Almost everybody in the United Kingdom who gets payment for working, and that includes self-employed people, has to pay national insurance contribution. Contract again for last time. And that money through that raise, which everybody who has a paid work, including self-employed people, is used for the National Health Service, and for retirement pension, and for state benefits. So everyone has to pay tax on the money they earn, and national insurance contribution on their money which they earn. With the tax, we have routes done education and military, and releasing contraction, we're changing the leg, and with the national insurance contribution that was done, and we're putting the toes in, and we're contracting the quad muscles, that was done state benefits and services such as retirement pension and the NHS, the National Health Service. Employees have their national insurance contributions deduced from their pay by their employer. So they seem to earn directly less, so they are getting less money because it's directly deduced. I don't really know what the word means. It gets directly deduced from their payment. People who are self-employed need to pay national insurance contributions themselves, so they have to pay for themselves. And we're releasing a contraction, but we're keeping a stretch. Anyone who does not pay enough national insurance contributions will not be able to receive certain contributory benefits such as job seekers allowance or a full state retirement pension. Do they get something? Do they not just get certain contributory benefits and job seeker allowance and a full state retirement pension, but they get something? Some workers, such as part-time workers, may not qualify for statutory payment such as maternity pay if they do not earn enough, and we're contracting again. I don't know the word statutory. And so some people don't earn enough money, so they don't get, for example, maternity pay or other statutory payments. And there are more information at www.gov.uk/national-insurance. Getting a national insurance number. A national insurance number is a unique personal account. We're contracting whatever. A national insurance number is a unique personal account number. It makes sure that the national insurance contributions and tax you pay are properly recorded against your name. All young people in the UK are sent a national insurance number just before the 16th birthday. We already seen contraction for last time. A non-UK national living in the UK and looking for work, starting work or setting up as self-employed will need a national insurance number. However, you can start work without one. If you have permission to work in the UK, you will need to telephone the national insurance number application line. After you've applied, you'll get a letter from the Department for Work and Pensions, DWP, we're contracting for last time. And they are asking you to come to a national insurance number interview at Job Centre Plus. The letter will also tell you which document to bring to prove your identity. You can find out more information about how to apply for a national insurance number at www.gov.uk/apply-national-insurance-number. So there is a national insurance number, and it's unique, so not everyone has the same number, everyone has a different one. And that number makes sure that the national insurance contributions and also the tax are paid properly, recorded with your name, so the number is identified with your name. The next exercise is the anchor chain stability test. One leg at the outside, the torso pointing forward, we're straight with the middle part of the body, and we're pressing a bit into the ground with the leg. And normally the people living in the United Kingdom getting around the 16th birthday, that national insurance number sent with a post or something. And if someone lives in the United Kingdom and they are not British citizen, and they're trying to find a work or to start a work or also to set up, or they're also starting a self-employment job, then they will need a national insurance number, but they can start without having one to do their job. And when they have the permission to work in the United Kingdom, then they have to phone the National Insurance Number application line. And maybe what number it is can be found at www.gov.uk/national-insurance or at gov.uk/apply-national-insurance-number. So when you apply where you have called the phone, releasing this pressure up again, but we keep it like that. When you'll get a letter from the DWP, that is the Department for Work and Pensions, and they are inviting you then for an interview at Job Centre Plus. And in that letter is also written what proof for your identity you have to bring your passport or something. And more information to it. So we are pressing again into the leg, and let's make a little resume. What do we have? There is a national insurance number. So people have to pay tax on their income and also national insurance contribution. And some people are not paying enough, they're not earning enough, so they're not paying enough, so they're not getting all benefits like maternity pay or job seekers allowance. And they are not telling here if the people who do not pay enough or not at all are getting anything. So here are many holes to stop. And in the longer access. And then there is the national insurance number. Normally people get that with a letter around the 16th birthday. If there are people living in the United Kingdom who don't have a British citizenship, then we can start to work without one. But if you have permission to work, you will need to telephone. But they can start to work without one, but when they earn money or something like that, then they have to telephone the national insurance number. Maybe that number can be found for people without British citizenship. Or at gov.uk/apply-national-insurance number. We have changed the leg and we're pressing again a bit into the floor. Then they have to phone there when they get a letter from the Department for Work and Pensions, DWP. Then we are having an interview, they're having a little meeting, they're just invited to talk for a few minutes. I don't think it can be much more. And then we also have to bring the passport. It's an important registration. And that's it. Now I'm again missing how high that is. So maybe we gonna go to that website and read what is written at gov.uk/national mines insurance. And I'm having a distinct feeling that we're also there. I'm not telling us what price. Because in a way, we started it with like a contract. Wait, let's talk to you about it. Following from the fundamental principles are responsibilities and freedoms which are shared by all those living in the UK. If you wish to be permanent resident or citizen of the UK, you should, and in return the UK offers these following things. It sounds a bit like a contract, so at one point some numbers, price, because it seems to cost quite a good amount of money which you earn in the United Kingdom, and tax, and also in national insurance. We're releasing the stretch and keep it like that. So you have to pay quite a lot of money for living fulls in the society of Britain. And it would be nice if somewhere that number at the end of the contract would be written. That's it for national insurance. So if you're just here for driving, what is here written about driving, when you can go directly to, maybe we mean that with participation in community life, all that was written here, but the UK government will launch your own. When you can go directly to the next part where we will talk about driving. It's a bit complicated if I make all these little interjections. I said it already 2 times, so there's another one and another one. So what are we going to do now in the time? We have the criminal courts, and do we know it completely? I'm not completely sure. We're going to the next exercise, so we're not going to do the civil courts yet. Other leg at the side, now we're doing the hydraulic carting. We're having a flex foot, bringing the leg up and again down. So the civil courts are we going to do later. The criminal courts also later. We will not really learn them now better, so we're waiting a little bit to forget it a little bit and then to relearn it. To make it more firm in the brain. Now we had the first 9 Commonwealth countries. We had looked at only the first six. And these are Antigua and Barbuda, Australia and the Bahamas, Bangladesh, Darussalam, and Belize. Then we had Cameroon and Botswana and Brunei, Botswana, Brunei, Darussalam, and Cameroon, Barbados, Bangladesh, Barbados, Belize. More or less that was the first 9. And then I wanted to go to the architects. Because I think we have all the rest here. Architecture. Examples of cathedrals for the Middle Ages still standing are Durham, Lincoln, Canterbury, and Salisbury. And also the White Tower in London of the Norman times still standing. The countryside became more peaceful and landowners became richer. Great country houses like Hardwick Hall in Derbyshire were built. So let's try to remember. Cathedrals like Durham, Lincoln, Canterbury, Salisbury, like at the outside, ending it up. And also the White Tower in London, and Hardwick Hall in Derbyshire, a great country house. When we want to learn, well, that's too much. So Hardwick Hall, Derbyshire, a great country house, and for example, Lincoln, Canterbury, Salisbury, Durham. Durham Vale. That vale between the border between Essex and Sussex, which John Constable had painted. So Durham, Lincoln, Canterbury, and Salisbury, and the White Tower, and Hardwick Hall. Hardwick Hall in Derbyshire. And then to the sports back. Football. There's the UEFA, the Union of European Football Associations Champions League. And there is the FIFA, the Fédération Internationale de Football Association, World Cup, and the UEFA European Football Championships. And also the World Cup. Rugby, we had all, horse racing, also golf. There's the major, and there is the St Andrews in Scotland. It's known as the home of golf. And the Open Championship is the only major tournament held outside the United States. So the Open Championship, and it seems to be in St. Andrew or something like that, that is a golf tournament. We want to have it also. The last exercise, we're having the soles of the feet together. You're torn up and we're leaning a bit in front, and you keep this stretch, the butterfly stretch, now for a minute or something. But the time, I thank you very much, and until next time.